That was my favorite place to go as a kid.
Over your
second, like maybe second to Toys R Us. But if we were going to Bass Pro Shop, that meant that our local gun store didn't have what we needed. We had, or we needed like black powder, or we needed. God damn it, those deer were coming right at us. All right,
touche. All right, I stand corrected.
Invasive.
Dude, there's like one of those kind of sketchy, like we buy guns places around the corner from my shop. And I was with my friend who was in from out of town, and he was like, I want to go in there. And I was like, oh, all right. Yeah, like that sounds interesting. Like, sure, I've never been into one of those, but like, let's go in there. Oh, is that Zach? Is that the headline? The internet is comparing it to a Bass Pro Shop. That's very funny. And we went in this place, and it was like, it wasn't just guns. It was like antique, like Ottoman Empire shit.
Oh, that's
like
neat.
Stuff from India, and like this dude was like an encyclopedia of these crazy vintage guns. And some of them were very beautiful, and some were like, I can't believe they thought that would work. But I really was like, I could see the appeal of collecting these 200-year-old guns. It was actually kind of interesting.
Yeah, for sure. Same appeal as collecting a sword.
Are you into firearms at all already?
I'm not I mean, I am in the same way I'm into watches and cars and stuff like that. I'm not like establishing an arsenal because I think someone's coming to get me. And I don't like the idea of carrying a gun around, but I definitely do see the appeal. And my father and I hunt birds together.
I have
so we have some shotguns.
I should say I've been privileged enough to see some like absurd collections of guns. Like
you would be the guy, wouldn't you?
Yeah, like because I would often be flying into a place to meet with a guy who owns his own firearms company, and he wants me to shoot his gun in a video, and he'd be like, let me show you my private collection. And these private collections, so Knight's Armament is a really big company in Florida. And Trey Knight was nice enough to let me come down there. He owns the company. And his father owns it, and he owns it with him. Anyway, his collection is by far the most absurd thing I've ever seen. Space Coast down there where they've got like those huge facilities. They made 2 of those, and he's got the other one. He has that much.
I'm sorry.
Of a facility.
Has what? Like a space shuttle warehouse?
No, yeah, pretty much.
Is that what we're talking about right now? We're talking about a space shuttle hangar this guy's got.
When you go to like look around the facilities and look at his collection, you don't walk. You have to ride a golf cart. You have to ride a golf cart
out of here
through the tank collection, past the Jeep collection, past the artillery collection, out to the bunkers, the old school Air Force silo bunkers that are under dirt outside that are full of explosives of every kind you can imagine. And then, of course, he has the first AR-15 that was ever made, the first M16, the early prototypes that Stoner made. He owns all of that stuff, everything Stoner ever made, all of the very early Vietnam stuff, sequential serial numbers, like displayed on the wall with like documentaries about each one playing on a screen next to them.
Oh, wow. That's very great. Is it open as a museum?
I think that was the plan, to open some of it.
It's weird to run a documentary on a screen in your private collection. Like, what do you stop? Watch the doc as you're cruising through.
I don't know if they ever opened it up, but I remember that being like a plan that some of it would be viewable. I doubt he'd want people like touring.
You know what it could be? There's a very excellent scam. The 501c3 nonprofit collection museum scam, which I am not party to, but I was told I should get on this bandwagon, which is where you can declare a collection or a storage facility a museum and not pay taxes on any of it. But the rule is that it has to be open to the public for at least 1 hour per month. Now, you do not need to publicize anywhere that it is open for that hour. And that hour can be any time of the day, any day of the week. But if during that hour someone shows up and wants to come in, you have to sell them a ticket and let them in.
Okay.
And it is the fucking shadiest scam ever. And if I had a giant collection of shit like this guy had, I'd probably know about that law.
I mean, that's a good little deal.
So he kind of so he had like this sequential in order kind of stuff, but then there's this guy in Vegas. I think he owns a magazine called Submachine Gunner magazine or something like that. He owns one of the bigger firearms magazines amongst other things, and he had like scary stuff. Like he had all these CIA lipstick guns, like cases full of them, like not one or two, like 30 of them in different colors and every variation and size that they ever made. And he was like, yeah, these were made by the CIA, and they could like pull it back and you let go and it fires like a 32 caliber bullet. And it's integrally, it's suppressed on the inside. So you can be in a restaurant and go thunk and just keep walking and nobody.
That's kind of cool. I saw a collection like that at the FBI. Like I did like the FBI tour in Washington, DC, and they have a big ass gun room with crazy spy shit like that. That was pretty neat. I don't think they'd allow you in there, Kyle.
I've seen no, not anymore. Well, I mean, they've already done my background check and it came up bad. So the answer is no.
Nice.
That guy also had movie guns. He had he had Gatling guns, like the old school with the
those are cool.
Like with the crank
4570, the 4570, like that, like coming down.
Like what kills Tom Cruise in The Last Samurai?
Yes, like that. He had miniguns, and he had
my sunglasses sponsor, Dylan Optics. They have a division that makes miniguns. Dylan Aero. They mount the miniguns on helicopters in Arizona.
I've shot one of them.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they're fucking crazy.
I think I shot one of theirs, and I shot a different one that was actually the prop gun they used in the Matrix movie when Keanu's shooting out of the helicopter. That's the one I shot at a lake one time. That was neat. I learned that after the fact. That was cool.
We've got really like shotguns. Like my old man's into the kind of like English, wood and fucking scroll work kind of.
They're beautiful.
Shot. Yeah, we just did 2 weeks ago. We were in Uruguay shooting birds. We went down there to shoot doves and to shoot pardis, which is like a quail. Very delicious, very tasty.
Nice.
The doves are really crazy because it's like they're like a pest down there, so they really want you to kill a lot of them. And so you line up against this, fence line with a case of shells and two guns, and you swap them off and you shoot like 200 birds in 90 minutes. It's fucking crazy amount of bird. Yeah, it's pretty brutal, actually.
It's a bloodbath.
It is.
They have no chance.
It is. And I'm not actually that into like the killing part of it. Like I actually like the pardis because I like going out with the dogs in the fields. Like that's pretty cool to me. But there were some guys at this lodge who were like real into the mass slaughter of these doves.
They're like, no, I'm not even hungry. I'm going home. Let them rot. Like,
yeah, well, you could eat like 10 doves for dinner. There's so little meat on those things.
Yeah,
so it's not really worth the effort. I wanted to end on a funny gun story. I told you guys before that my dad and I went to Uruguay, and we brought some shotguns to shoot birds, and they weren't the really, my dad's got some pretty fucking serious hardware, but we don't like to travel internationally with those because you don't want something to happen to them. And so we had some guns that were nice, but not super fancy schmancy. So we brought them down, no problem. Coming back was a fucking disaster. Nobody in Montevideo had any idea how to check these guns through properly, to check in their serial numbers or any of that kind of shit. And, you got to do it right. And then we land. It takes forever to get back. We had to fly through Panama City and then to Miami. It was like 25 hours of fucking flying, and it was awful. Yeah. But we land in Miami. It's 1 a.m. now. We're in Miami. There's nobody in the airport, and we go to declare our guns in the customs office. And we get there, and they're looking at them, and they're looking at the paperwork, and they ask my dad for the original proof of purchase for these guns.
What?
He has a photocopy of it, okay, which he does have. But they ask for the original proof of purchase. And he goes, I live in New York. It's in my house, in Connecticut. It's in my house in Connecticut. And they go, well, can you wake somebody up? Because first off, it's 1 a.m. Second off, nobody's home. And he goes, isn't this Xeroxed copy like enough? And they go, no. He goes, we can't prove these are your guns, and we're going to confiscate them. It's a pair of guns. And he goes, my initials are literally engraved in this gun. My son's initials are engraved in this gun. Both of our initials are embossed on the case.
Classic long con.
You can't like it's I realize that may not hold up in court, but here with us, can't you understand that we brought them into you? Like, we're clearly not smuggling these guns. Like,
we waited in line to do this with you. We're not trying to fool you.
Here's the paperwork for when we brought them out of America into Uruguay. Here's the paperwork for when we brought them back. And this guy's like, no, that's not going to work. We're going to have to confiscate these guns. And my dad's friend who's with us is this super Goomba guy right out of The Sopranos. And literally he's like, do you think we could come to some kind of an arrangement? I'm like, oh my God, shut the fuck up, dude. Like,
He's right. I can't wait to hear where the story goes.
You're not fucking helping.
He's helping. He helped, right? Tell me.
And I forget his last name, but it's something like Siciliano or something. That's like the most stereotypical.
Yeah, Danny Criminalici. Jimmy Laundrissimo.
Oh my God. And like, and so they call in the boss supervisor who comes in. It's a super typical, like, yoked customs dude, and he what's going on here? What do we got? Okay, let me look at this. And I don't think this is gonna work. We're gonna have to take these guns. And I go, okay, can we come back tomorrow and get them once we get the something? And they go, no, it goes into seize the property. And at this point, my dad is just like, I'll fucking send a lawyer. I'm not dealing with this fucking bullshit. Like, take the fucking guns. Like, we'll send a lawyer here tomorrow. It's gonna fucking jam you guys up with paperwork for fucking 2 weeks for taking these things. And so the guy, okay, let me get your passports. The supervisor takes all of our passports, goes in the back room for like a half hour. So now it's like almost 2:00 in the morning. We're standing around. Eventually, and I don't know about you guys, but I believe that any bureaucratic system can be worked with, against, or around on the mood of the one guy you're dealing with, whether it's the DMV or the IRS or customs or the cops, or it's just you and the guy you're fucking talking to, or girl. It's forget the fucking system. It's always about the one person you're standing there and their fucking mood. So eventually this guy comes back out, and he goes, I'm guessing he has Googled my father or whatever and found out he's not a fucking criminal. He's, big time corporate type. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to let you guys go this time. And, just make sure you got the. And we're kind of like, okay, we're sorry. Thank you. We, thanks for not taking the gun. And as we're packing him up and going to leave, now I'm wearing a mask and I'm wearing a hat. And this guy, one of the other guards comes up to me and goes, hey, psst, come here. And I go, what's up, man? And he goes, dude, I love your car reviews. And I'm like, you fucking knew who I was this entire time, man. You let me stand here for 2 hours with it saying we're going to take our guns, and you literally knew who I was and saw my initials carved into this gun, and we're like, yeah, no, that's not his. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. You couldn't have pulled up my channel and showed your
you
boss.
know me. You literally know me. Like,
he could have literally wrote on a piece of paper, I know this guy.
Yes, like
initials.
Do you know how often that's worked in the past? Like, I actually lost my driver's license once while traveling and got onto an airplane because the guy at the gate was like, no, I fucking know this guy. That is his name. Like, that's actually worked in the past for me. But so I thought you would find that funny that this guy was
that is very funny.
Take our guns, and the whole time he fucking knew.
I'm so glad that Goomba friend of yours didn't get you put into a cell.
I wanted that to work so much.
I wanted it to work too. It's Uruguay, right? Isn't it like?
No, this was in Miami. This was in America.
Oh, I misunderstood.
This was not. No, this was once we landed in Miami.
He was in South America.
No, he did this fucking shit in America.
He was doing the whole like, I wish there's something I could do.
Oh, it probably would have fucking worked down there. It didn't seem like there was a whole lot of laws down there.
Yeah. No.
Sometimes I feel like that's part of the compensation plan. Like, listen, we don't pay you much, but you get so much in bribes.
You're going to bribe at least 3 times a week.
Yeah, like waitresses get tips, bureaucrats get bribes. It's part of how we pay you.
Oh my god!
That's how you can make $175 a year for 10 years and be worth $48 million.
Now you're in higher level politics.
Yeah. It's wild that all these politicians reliably outdo economists.
Yeah, right. Isn't Nancy Pelosi like killing the fucking stock market right now? It's like
she's wasting her time in politics. She's a genius.
I mean, apparently insider trading is legal if you're a politician.